I don't cheese for the cam, niggas. And smile on the gram, they caught me slipping. I'm that nigga. Right? Fame for the young, just cut the check. Let me rap, nigga. Rap, nigga. Gravatar style, I'm a traveling smack dealer. Get all Jenny Lamb.
Whoa, I like that song. I don't know who that is, but that's just kind of cool. Oh man, yo, y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome to the party. We back. Side Barz. I told y'all Side Barz was getting ready to make a strong comeback. We took a little time off, but you know what I'm saying, trying to get other stuff on the network together. But we back in business. You know me, Seven Da Pantha, aka the Carolina Hurricane with ridiculous slang, aka your baby mama's favorite rapper, aka Pie Strickland, if you get the point. You feel me? And you know, we only bring you the dope on Side Barz, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's only right that one of the most consistent artists I've ever met in my life. Consistent in output, consistent in quality of output. Because, man, Mack, Virginia's very own. What's going on, brother?
Hey, it's an honor to be back on the show again, man. A lot has happened since the last time I was on it, man. But glad to be able to be here to do it. And yeah, man, ready to rock.
No doubt. Now, for those who may have missed the first time, I know I said Virginia's very own, but real quick, tell the people where you from. Give us a little bit of your background and how you got into the game.
I'm originally from Roanoke, Virginia. Nephew of a jazz singer. I've been in Virginia all my life. I've traveled a whole lot and gotten the music around. But born and raised VA, Southwest VA, like we in the mountains, which a lot of times I always say the forgotten part of VA.
Oh man, yeah, because when you hear people talking about Virginia, it's always the same places they mention. It's usually the I-95 corridor they're talking about.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's either like Richmond or Seven Cities, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt. No doubt. So, I mean, being in Roanoke and kind of being off the beaten path, like, how does somebody in Roanoke become Mack?
Well, you know, I tell you, because like here, the boom bap scene that exists is one that like we had to like plant the seeds for. And when I say we, me and my man Van Guns, and we go back like a ways back, and going all the way back to even like my original group I had with my brother D Up too. So it was like boom bap seeds. Anyone boom bap seed. Now I'm not gonna say all the boom bap seeds because there's other people like that have existed in the area, but like our small conglomerate of people are the ones that have like kept that sound alive here, because we're in an area of the country where sometimes a lot of people don't know what they want to be honest with you, because it's like in the mid-Atlantic, but it's also over in the mountains. So it's like, you know, niggas don't know where they want to be. Atlanta, they want to be New York, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of
You know, that's it's funny you say that, because one of the things that I used to say about North Carolina early on, this is when I first really got into the music scene in North Carolina. I used to say, man, this is really cool, but they don't have an identity. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But then over time, you kind of watched it develop. So I mean, as far as I know, I mean, I've been out there to rock with y'all a couple of times, been through the city a few times, and I can totally see that what you're saying is real, because you and Guns and the people who have been around y'all have been like the bastion of hip hop culture in that area, like ever since I've known you. And I haven't really seen anybody else that carried the flag the same way y'all did.
Now I will say this in all due respect to like the entertainment scene of the area as a whole. It's definitely like a music scene as a whole here, like because there's a lot of different genres, and like, but also in due respect to hip hop, it kind of gets pushed to the side here by like some of the people that really could help it along, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that the guys like us exist, because if we didn't, it would die.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, for those of y'all who don't know, I told y'all the Virtuoso EP produced by Van Guns is on the way. Poe gonna be the one mixing it. Let me ask you about, because I already knew you were a producer, and of course knew that you were MC. How did the engineering come into? Now I gotta ask, did the engineering come into play on a note of, I'm tired of waiting on other people to do it the way I want it done, I'm gonna just do it myself?
Basically, I actually was telling a story recently because when I do my hip hoponomics course, I tell this story. I back we're gonna say it was like 1997, late 97 ish. I was then like 1998. I was always trying to find an engineer to record me and mix me, and it's like I always would end up like wasting money. And like, cause they'd be like, man, go see so and so, go see such and such, and I would never leave with a complete product. So like, I just kind of had like that effort moment where I was like, I gotta learn this myself, and so I would take my old 4-track recorder with the cassette tape, and I would hook it up into like my mom's Pioneer stereo at the time that had a 5-band equalizer on it, and I was like, all right. I used to love listening to like my Nas CDs and tapes on it. So I'm like, I'm going to look at the 5-band EQ on it, and I'm going to try to match these levels whenever I play out this 4-track. I mean, I would stay up sometimes 30 to 36 hours at a time, like trying to like learn the craft in this kind of savage way. but eventually led to me like getting levels, like I was getting better and better with it. And then by the time it came around to about 2002, 2003, I started having people ask me like, hey, you know, can I pay you to record me? And so I had people coming into my apartment at the time for like $20 an hour, like paying me for sessions, because my man D Up actually stapled up a bunch of padding and carpet in the walk-in closet in there. And that became like my first booth. So then I started engineering for people ever since then.
Oh, that's lit, man. See, man, for those of y'all who may be watching who didn't get an opportunity to see, he says it on his most recent project. You know, he's VA's own, but he's Carolina's nephew. When we talk NC hip hop, a lot of times we rope Guns and Poe Mack into that conversation because they may be from Virginia, but they part of our family too. So I do want to talk about Gasoline Bomber, but before we get to that, I gotta ask a question. And it's very rare that I get to talk to producers, so I want to ask, when you're making a beat, okay, especially since you're an MC as well, when you make a beat, do you initially make a beat with the thought of yourself rapping to it, or is it more of a I'm just going to make what I feel and see what comes from
that? I've done both. Now I'm gonna say the majority of the time is just kind of like I sit down in front of it, you know, like I'm going through a bunch of records, and then it's kind of like a make how I feel type of deal. Now, when I'm working on like my own albums, and I said, "Oh man, I need another beat," and like I need something like this, then that's when my approach might change a little bit. And like, but in those cases, I know exactly what I'm going for. So like I mean, I'll tell you, for the past 2 weeks, I've been like wrapping up this Mack Julian, the retape that I'm going to drop on May the 2nd. And I'm always adding stuff at the last minute, which is kind of the advantage of me being my own engineer, because I mean, I'm always adding stuff at the last minute. So like, you know, as many people that have rapped over Rocky themes and this and that for the past 2 weeks, I've had in my head where I'm like, I have to like spit about some things that have literally happened in the past 30 days, and I only hear it over this piece of the Rocky theme. And so I'm saying it now because like I'm seriously going to incorporate this into this tape sometime in the next 48 hours, and so we can go back to this interview. Marking us the time that I said I was going to do it.
No doubt, man. That's I don't think people understand. Like there is something to be said. There are times when I say, man, look, I just want to go stand in front of a microphone. Somebody else push the buttons. I just want to rap. You know what I'm saying? But then I realized how much different my bank account looks when I just push the buttons myself at home and don't go nowhere to do it. And I realized that I'm not mixing it. So as long as I make sure my vocals sound good, nothing else really matters. You know what I'm saying? So I like that part of it.
And just to tell you, you've been getting like clean recordings, because like the last couple things on a mix that came from you, man. Like, I mean, you nailing it clean. It's you're getting it clean to where I'm able to put a clean mix. So I mean, hey, salute to you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Now I know you and Guns been working together for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
I sometimes still have to catch myself and not call him Case. I'd be like, damn. I mean, I know, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, damn it, handguns. I remember now. I got you. But I was listening to Gasoline Bomber, and I didn't even look at the time on Gasoline Bomber when I first turned it on. It came out the day before my birthday this year. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I was like, man. And then I dropped Gravitas on Bandcamp the next day. So like I was in the midst of, doing all of that and pushing everything. And I was like, wait, just dropped something. Let me go back.
Yeah,
Put
which
the
is
headphones on.
Flames, by the way.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. Just salute the Drugs Beats, man. He matter of fact, I'm interviewing him next weekend, which is gonna be hilarious because that dude, man, he's crazy. But yeah, I was listening to the project, and at first it amazed me how quickly it went by because I have it set on repeat. So like when it came back to the very first song, Post Executive Order, I was like, wait a minute, I heard this already. It's over. Like, okay. So then I went and looked, and I was like, yo, this is not even 13 minutes long. Like this is concise, but it's impactful from the first song to the last one. I mean, the EP format, especially, I guess I think about it a lot because I know I'm kind of moving towards more of that myself on the EP format. Is that something, especially as we get, on in years in the culture, is the EP format a little easier to kind of digest and get it out to people quickly as opposed to trying to build like a whole, you know what I mean? A whole project.
Well, my thing is because I feel like I got a weird approach to everything. And for me, how some people say they want to put out singles. Well, people saying they want to put out singles, that's the equivalent of me saying I want to put out EPs. So like, because I'm just not a single, like it just ain't like my thing. But for my equivalent of putting out a single is putting out an EP. Like, because when I sit down and create, like I literally sit down and create like, sometimes 5-6 songs at a time. And so even with Gasoline Bomber, like I know like I probably like drove Van Gunn's nuts like when like kept saying, oh, I'm gonna record this weekend and didn't. But he also knows when I do sit down and record, it's happening all at one time. And like because it's almost like one thought at a time. Because like because the crazy thing is like, see, I don't write anymore. So like, but my writing process in my head requires me to really like, I had to sit down and do a group of work at one time. And so like, because it's all like a mood. So like Gasoline Bomber, as you can tell, it's a mood, like one mood, just like Mac Julian, the retape coming up May 2nd, like it's a mood now. It's similar to the first Mac Julian because it's a lot of remixes, but I also I took some songs out and put some new songs in, and so, but it's all stuff that's been like I had to do this group of work almost all at one time, or it may be 2 sessions where I do like, all right, I'm doing like 4 or 5 songs, and then I'm doing this other 3 or 4 songs, and this other one like so I have an unorthodox way of working sometimes, but it's just everybody got their way that works for them.
Writing in your head. I'm glad you brought that up. I just had a long, I don't want to call it an argument. We had a disagreement about people writing rhymes in their head. First of all, he was like, I don't believe people do that. I was like, bro, I've seen people do it. Like it really happened.
Oh yeah. I mean, I got
literally happened. But more importantly, he questioned the oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Like I've because my writing in my head, like by me having the advantage of having always a studio around me, like, I think of 4 to 8 bars, lay them, then think 4 to 8 bars and lay them. I literally know people that can think of a 16 at a time and lay it like which is nuts to me too, still.
Yo, that is wild. But I know that one of the things that was said, and I'm glad that you said that you do it, because when I listened to you, I didn't know you didn't write the rhymes down anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like now that I know that, that only gives more credence to my argument in the conversation, because he was questioning the quality of what comes out of it. And I was like, well, the writing process is the same. You're just not writing it on a piece of paper. I don't understand how that's different. It's the same amount of energy and work being put into the verse. You're just not putting it on paper. And he was like, well, no, when you put it on paper, you can go back and erase. You can do that in your head. It's the same process, bro. Yeah. It's no difference. You know what I'm saying? So have you found, I wonder one of my homies out here in Washington that does that, he said that he found a greater freedom in how he delivers his verses. It's almost like he's freestyling, except he's not, because he knows what he's gonna say, but that freedom is there. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel the same way as far as that when you're creating now?
Absolutely. Like it got to the point now to where I feel constricted if I'm writing, because I tried to write a rhyme like 2 weeks ago, and I was actually feeling restricted. Like what's happened now, because I started this process back. The first project I started this process with was King of the Mountain. That was the project I came out with right before the first Mack on drugs. Back and so we're talking like 2012, because 2013 was when I dropped the first Mack on drugs, and I started the process then, but I was still writing on paper, and the very last things I wrote on paper were was on the project me and Cesar Comanche did together, and then eventually I went off script on halfway through that project. Like, but I had to write on. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I actually did a lot of writing on paper on that project too. Like, I don't think I've ever told anybody this, because I was working on Tamarack Lane simultaneously to A Promise Not to Sting, and so I didn't want either of my work to sound the same on either one, since I was working on simultaneously. So I knew it would force me to sound different if I was going on paper on A Promise Not to Sting. Like the only track on A Promise Not to Sting I didn't go on paper was the solo one I had produced by Crisis. But other than that, it was all on paper. But then Tamarack Lane was all off paper. And I worked on a simultaneously.
That's crazy.
And even then, I was in the.
You said
I'd had a stint in the hospital during the recordings of those. So I remember I didn't think I was going to meet the deadline of getting Tamarack Lane out that I had set. And like, I remember I came home from the hospital. I was like still weak as hell. And I went ahead and laid the last song on Tamarack Lane, which is called I'm Living Now, ironically. And I still, I haven't performed that song yet, because I actually still can't get through the second verse without getting emotional, because it takes me back to that day. And like the things that I talk about in it, with like my mother passing and this and that. Like, I was trying to rehearse that song like 3 days ago, and I was like, damn, I'm like, I did this song like 4 years ago, and this song still got me choking up.
Oh yeah. So, it'd be like that, man. It'd be like that, especially when I feel like maybe and I never tried it because I'm really good at freestyling, but as far as like actually trying to organize a verse in my head, I'd suck at it. I tried it, but it just doesn't work. I'm like, oh man, there's too much stuff happening here. I can't do it.
But you're a lyrical master
the outcome
too,
has been dope.
So because I've listened and analyzed your rhymes and rhyme structure. Like I do that with everybody, and like you're dope.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate, because coming from you, that's big.
Oh no, no doubt, man. Nah. Like I respect what you represented. Like I mean, you're a pillar from your scene. So like,
man, thank you, man. But you know what, North Carolina, I hope y'all heard. You heard what Poe Mag just said. I ain't gonna mess with them today. Oh man, so okay. The project is crazy. I like every record on here. I mean, granted, it's only 5 songs, so it's hard. It's kind of hard to fumble 5 songs if you're good at what you do. And I already know going into a Poe Mag project that it's gonna be quality. I already know that. You know how to put a project together. You know how to sequence. All of those things are important. The song that jumped out the speakers to me first. All of it was dope. What the Monster did with you and Jamal Matters is crazy. Like, y'all smoked that. Y'all smoked that. That joint and Son of VA are probably my 2 favorite joints on the project. But like I said, I like all 5 of them. So I mean, give me a little bit as far as the process, like what the Monster did. Tell the people the concept of how that record got built, because both of y'all are monstrous on the mic. So I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. But
I'm gonna tell you when I this went in a completely different order of like how I put things together, because like I had been checking out Jamal Matters, like listening to his stuff, and like, yo, that's a bad dude, man. Like I really like what I hear from him.
Yes.
I like the way he carries his content. And so I was sitting here one day and I was like, all right, I want to do a song with this guy. It literally started like this. I was like, I want to do a song with this guy. I like what he's doing. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, what would I do? And as I listened to his records, I was like, I want to break into a studio with him and we're gonna rap about it. And so then it started there. And then and Van Guns had that beat sitting there and crazy thing is Van Guns was like, man, it's like a couple people passed on this beat. And I'm like, yo, and I'm like, I ain't passing on it. I'm like, this joint flames. So now I sent it to Jamal, man. He was with it, man. And shouts to him because he got it knocked out quick, man. And which impressed me even more because I'm a quick worker, but I don't always hold people to that standard because I know everybody got their own way of working. And I don't judge nobody's work rate or this and that because everybody has their own, process of creation, the time that it takes. But at the same time, there's times I had to check myself because I'll be like, yo, why you ain't got the record yet? Or because I'm so used to being in my own head and popping off stuff quick. And, but he got it back. He got it back fast, man, considering that he had a lot of other things going on too. So yeah, that came together pretty quick. Cause as I was saying, the Gasoline Bomber EP, when me and Van Guns get together and do stuff and this was the same with the Mountain God series too. It's usually it usually involves him either giving me a phone call or either we'll get up for lunch or either we'll just get up and be sitting around both working on beats and it'll be he'll look at me and be like, hey Byron, because he's one of the only people calls me Byron. He's like, hey Byron, he's like, you need to put out something. And I'll be like, all right. And then yeah, Mountain God 1. He said it again, you had 2. He said it again, you had 3. It's so
That's
usually
dope.
with me and
That's
in these
dope.
plans,
I
they
mean,
happen quick.
I love that shit, man. And y'all been making dope music together for a long time. And I've seen we've been around in the same circle for a really long time. And I've seen a lot of combinations of people come and go. They working together this year, next year they ain't talking to each other or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in this business, man. But I think that y'all maintaining y'all not only y'all friendship, but y'all working relationship has been a boost for both of you actually, because having anybody in your corner that's that good, him being a producer, stepping away from rapping, but still making beats and being around you, you, a top tier producer and a top tier MC, being around you gonna motivate him to keep doing dope shit. So I love that about y'all, man. I always have. I always thought y'all working relationship was dope. Super dope.
The things I say about him is he's always had an ear for music, but also an ear for what needs to happen. So and I mean, this goes back before he was actually making beats. He's always had an ear. When we're in the lab, I mean, he could be that one in there to be like, hey, that's the beat you need to pick, no matter who made it or produced it. And usually is right 98, 99% of the time. You know what I'm saying? And so I've always trusted his ears. So with him making beats now, I know when me and him get together to make projects, I always feel good about it going in because it's when you got somebody that you trust their ear, then it's you feel like you can't lose going in.
I feel that absolutely. Hell yes. I mean, if I was talking to a average Joe on the street who loved boom bap but he never heard of Mack, and he said, well, look, what's the most recent project? And I don't have time to listen to the whole thing right now. Give me one song. What one song off of this project would you play for a person who wants to know if they should go listen to the rest?
Probably. Well, if we speak Gasoline Bomber, I'm actually gonna say The First Horseman.
Good choice. Good choice.
And it's just because of the vibe that it carries. Like it's a light enough vibe to where if you're not a straight boom bap head, the sample's gonna catch you. I mean, if you boom bap head, then it's enough there for you to get into it. But like, but if you're not, then it's like that sample's crazy on that. Like, that was another one that he played to me, and I was like, I said, who else have you played this for? Like I was like, because that sample was crazy. Like I immediately thought the song when I heard it. Like it was one of those like where you see the story where they talk about like where they show when like Jay-Z first heard the beat from Timberland, like and he hit the booth immediately. It was it was like that with the First Horseman. Like I threw that joint on, man. It was just like boom. I immediately went in there like eliminating your writers and your so-called authors. You know what I'm saying? Like it was immediate.
Yo, that shit is crazy. The other thing that I think I like a lot about the project is the like that. I'm not gonna say that there aren't hooks because there are hooks, but some of the hooks are very minimal to give you and like it works with the project being short and it makes people focus on what you're saying. And it, like I can't get caught up in the hook. I got to listen to the words if I really want to like rock out to this. So I think that did a lot in regards to allowing people to really dive in because I played this for a couple of cats out here in Washington who had never heard of you before, and I was like, well, this is my guy Poe, and he was like, okay. So we played it, the whole thing played through, you know, like again, very short listen, and they were like, yo, that was crazy. Where you from? I was like, VA. They was like, nah, where you from? I was like, nah, Roanoke, Virginia, dog. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I told you, man, I only fuck with dope, yo. I don't be around no whack niggas, yo. So I'm just saying. But, I mean, how's it been? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like the song Heat. If you listen to Heat, like I think of Heat as like one long ass hook. Like it, like and that's the way I decide. Like when I heard that beat, I was just like, that was another one where I was just like, Heat, like I was like everything Heat, like, and it just came immediately. But to me, it was like I was like, what would be the hook on this? I'm like, you know what, the whole damn song's gonna be the hook.
See. That's what you call thinking, and I think you being a producer, engineer, and the MC kind of adds to how you hear and see a record put together once you do it or once you get to working on it. And I was gonna say with Guns, him being a DJ, definitely adds to his ear as far as production and everything. So I mean, I always forget that he was a DJ, and then like sometime in the back of my mind, I just magically picture him behind the turntables with the headphone on, popping my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, he did use the DJ. I forgot about that. Oh man. I guess I know what it was like for us coming out of North Carolina when we first started doing tours and stuff like that, and then going to different places. They're like, yeah, where y'all from? North Carolina. They're like, oh, really? You know what I'm saying? Did you incur? I know you traveled around a lot doing the music. Did you encounter a lot of that? You know what I'm saying? As you was going to different places and they find out, you know, you from Virginia and whoa, really?
Yeah, because see, I will say, although sometimes geographically it could be a disadvantage, especially being from this part of Virginia, sometimes it's became an advantage because the area is very scenic. So like when you get to talking about it elsewhere and people have never been like to the mountains, like sometimes they're just intrigued and want to make the trip. So like, they're like, oh man, I ain't never been to the mountains. So like, there's some people that have that reaction. So it's kind of like, it's like you're almost like bringing them to like, you know, it's not bringing them to the beach, but it's bringing them to something geographical that's, you know, like, you know, there's people, you'd be surprised how many people have never seen mountains, you know, so like.
For real though. Yeah.
So like, you know, we just had like a whole gang of people down here from New York that were on tour, man. We had Pro Dillinger here. And he brought Bubs and Chubbs with him, and like you know, cats from Umbrella. So like, you know, they came here like, and you know, they was like, I could tell like, you know, they had been to Richmond the week before, but they had been familiar with Richmond, but like, you know, coming to the mountains, you know, said I could, you know, definitely tell that was like a different speed. But like they enjoyed themselves here, and you know, it was cool to host them, man. Shouts to them, shouts to Urban Gems, my man Jay the jeweler that came out here and brought them down here, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like that was a real cool show, man. Like like they came down here like, you know, hard body music, you know what I'm saying? So like,
Man, that's see, I be missing that shit sometimes because out here, and this is no knock, Washington. You know I love y'all, but they do. There's a proclivity towards bringing legacy acts more so than current people. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I understand like some of the current mainstream acts may be a little too pricey, or maybe the music don't resonate well enough for you to think that they're gonna fill the building up. But there's a lot of cats, underground heads, that have a really nice following, us even out here, that I'd be surprised that people know who they are. Have you ever been to the Northwest at all?
You know, I have not been to the Northwest, but I fully plan on at least within the next year or two, because you know it's a lot of things I've been saying I want to make sure that I do, man. Like, I mean, I literally feel like I'm getting like a second lease on life right now, just from the different medical scares that I've gone through like in the past several years, and like back, you know, this past November, you know, itself. Like I am a dialysis patient.
Right.
Like you know, like I go to dialysis 3 times a week, a few hours at a time. I had complete kidney failure when I was like traveling. Like I was on the way to do a gig in North Carolina on the highway, couldn't breathe, complete kidney failure. I ended up in a hospital out of town, deeper down in Virginia, like a couple of hours from home. And it was stuck there for a couple of weeks. And so like, I mean, then, and that was, that happened 2 days after I put out the Rap for the Rent album, back this past November. And like, I kind of knew things were heading that direction just because things that were happening, but I didn't expect it to happen the way that it did. So like, I mean, you know, because things had got real rough health wise, and I like to the point to where I remember that was another deadline I was trying to meet, because I turned 45 back on November 15th, and you know, it got to November 14th, and I still needed to record an outro, but that's how rough things were. So I recorded the outro, which is titled Rainfall. After hearing this story, go back and listen to the outro. It was recorded hours before I put out the album, and then hours after that, I ended up going into the hospital for 3 weeks. And then you know, come out like on dialysis. But
yeah, that was rough too, because now we watched it, man. You know, me and Rem talk pretty regular. And I hadn't seen it because I hadn't been online in a couple of days. And he hit me. He was like, "Yo, you heard about Poe?" I was like, "Nah, what's up with him?" I mean, because I'm already aware, you know what I'm saying, of your situation. You know, it's not something that you've been hiding from people over. So, you know, you've always been fairly open about it. And I was like, "Nah, what's up?" And he was like, "Nah, he's in the hospital. I don't think he's doing well." And I was like, "Fuck." So I went online and I saw a post, and I was like, "Shit." So I don't put it out there, put it out there in the universe a lot. But I mean, I pray regularly for my people, man, because I know everybody that I've ever known, all the people that I know that I actually know that I'm close to are back east. Like I came out here with it, nothing. I didn't know nobody, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard that, I felt it, and I was like, "Fuck." I was like, "Yo," and a selfish part of me was like, "Yo, hip hop can't lose Poe Mack right now." You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop can't lose Poe Mack right now. You know what I'm saying? And that was me being that was rapper me thinking about the music. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about music and the culture. But then me was like, "Well, nah, fuck that. Like, fuck hip hop. Like his people need him here." You know what I'm saying? Like we need him here, regardless of whether it's music or not. Like you're just a dope person.
I appreciate
fuck the music. You know what I'm saying? So like, oh man, glad to see you glad to see you doing good, man. Like that makes me feel great.
and
Real talk.
And like I have like a long road ahead. You know, like you know, like right now waiting for like a kidney donor and stuff like that. But I'll tell you the crazy thing though, because all this really started, and this is what probably a lot of people don't know, is this whole thing started back when I broke my leg back in 2018. And ironically, like I broke my leg on the road. and and so like that night, this was February 10th, 2018, and the night before I did a really really dope show at home, and then I hit the road the next night, and I slipped on some steps and broke my leg. Now stubborn me, I mean, because I'm laying out in the rain, and my foot is beside my hip.
God damn.
Yeah. And so
Ooh.
I'm staring up at the rain. The rain's falling on me, and I'm like, oh, I just sprained my knee real bad. It's all like I just need some help up. That's all. So like I get help up, and like my joint is like swelling, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be good. And so I was like, just give me a crutch or something. So like I still go to the gig. I go up 20 steps. And then I had to DJ and rap. I stood and still did a 25 to 30 minute rap set and DJ'd. And then and so then like I ended the gig about 30 minutes early. And and I get my girlfriend gives me a ride to the hospital and down where we were. Like it was a little town called Marion, Virginia, where she's from. And and I went to the local hospital there, and so they get to scanning my leg, and they're like, Mr. Mack, they're like, you tore your patellar tendon in your knee. So I'm like, dang, I'm like, that sounds rough. And they was like, how's your ankle feeling? And I was like, well, I can't feel my ankle because my damn leg's hurting so bad. And they was like, well, you shattered your ankle too. Yeah. Jeez. So they was like, we had to get you back for emergency surgery to like, your local hospital. So like, it was like these flooding rains outside, and like I get in this ambulance and so I had to take this 2-hour ride back to like Carilion Hospital, Ronald Memorial. And so like when they wheeling me in the hospital, I mean, I run into two dudes. One came out and was like, yo, Mack, like I need some studio time. I'm like, you see me on a stretcher? Like, and then another dude was like, yo, when you get better, man, I need you to send me some beats. I'm like, what?
Niggas.
Oh yeah, niggas.
Niggas, man.
So they wheel me up in like the triage, and they put me on the machine, and like, my aunt's been informed what's happening. So like my aunt, like she rushes out there, and like they take my blood pressure. And my blood pressure was 275 over 130.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and then like my oxygen sats were like really low, and so they was like, Mr. Mack, we can't even operate on you until we get your blood pressure down at some type of level below this. And so I had to sit there in pain for 2 days while they was like working on my blood pressure. And then they come out with all these diagnoses, the main one being, like, we're talking diagnosis. I've got a broken leg, and I was like, yo, what am I fixing my leg? And we talk about diagnosis. They come out and talk about like, yeah, you have chronic kidney disease. And so the significance of it is because my leg swole up that night of February 10th, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
That leg, and that leg did not. Matter of fact, that leg stayed swollen, and the fluid started spreading to other parts of my body as well. So that's what kept putting me in the hospital over the years. And because my kidney couldn't process the fluid, so like, so literally my leg was swollen all the way up until I started dialysis 4 months ago. 7 years. So that was the significance of when I had my first performance back in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Genius Party back a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the significance of that was like the first time that I didn't have to perform with a swollen leg in 7.5 years.
That's
like
crazy.
And so it was the first time I felt like it was 2017 again. So when I say I got a second chance, dude, I retired from rap back in November when I went to the hospital. Like, I was like,
I remember that, yeah.
Because I was like, I'll never rap again. Like because I didn't even have the breath to, like, I barely had the breath to record that outro. When you get a chance, go listen to Rap for the Rent.
Oh, I listened to the album. I'm about to go back and listen to the outro again. Like now I got a different perspective on it. So now, yeah, I like to hear stuff like that and then go back and listen because I'm like, oh, now I get it. Yeah, now I
one of the
completely
last
understand.
lines I say, once I thought I was a mountain god, I found out I was a mere mortal.
Yes.
And I ended the album. That was the reason why I ended the album that way.
Man, that is crazy.
Because it was me basically spitting a letter to my loved ones because I didn't know whether I would even live through November. That's how bad I felt. And it was like me spitting like a goodbye letter to my loved ones, pretty much.
That's deep. That's deep. I was just talking to it's a group I'm in on Facebook called Hip Hop Lifers. I think Van is in that group too.
Yeah. I'm in that group too.
You in it? Okay, so they had a thing about Anthony, the guy that runs the group, asked a question about Mount.
I actually got to meet
Rushmore's.
him in person too.
Really?
Yeah,
I would love to. He's a good dude.
I met him at a gig in Massachusetts.
I actually am trying to I talked to Brad Bailey. I'm actually trying to book some stuff up there for the summer.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Cause I dropped the album and about to drop another project. I was like, but I ain't been on the road at all yet. Like I've done 2 shows this year. Which is very unseven. But you know,
hey,
I'm 50 now, dog.
I got a show booked on July 11th. If you make it out east during that time, I will put you on it.
July 11th. Let me give me 2 seconds. I'm about to look at the calendar. July 11th. I am Say Less. July 11th. Roanoke.
Yes.
We'll be there. Most definitely.
It's a concert hall too that I booked out. So like it's like the event's gonna be official.
Like every time I came up there and did anything with y'all, it was dope, man. Even when I like I like to tell the story about when I had to battle Jay Minix. And I'm like, I came up there unprepared because I didn't know what to expect. So I was like, I freestyled the whole time. I was like, I freestyled the whole time. And Minix was just like, after the battle, Minix was like, you was freestyling the whole time? I was like, yeah. He was like, damn, that was dope. And I was like, yeah, but not as dope as yours because I wasn't prepared. So like, that let me know right then. I was like, okay, battle rap in this era is not for me. I'm an off the head battler. I'm not gonna take the time to sit down and write nothing about you. So
yeah, and see, that's where I was with it because like I used to get into battles, but it was all off the head.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize like in the newer era until he was tipping me to it that these cats were like writing and preparing because this was the original plan. Nobody ever knew this. When he started battling, all right, what was supposed to happen is on my birthday back in 2015, I believe, or 2016, it was supposed to go into me and him battling each other. And then after I got to hear his battles against all of y'all, I was like, I ain't letting them put me on the altar on my birthday. I said,
yeah, salute to Jay, man. Salute to Jay Minix.
And my lady was refusing to let me do it anyway because she was like, I heard. She's like, you ain't gonna have me being like one of your battle props.
I love it. Yo, man, I got to get Minix on here, man. I have not seen him since that night. We've talked a couple times online or whatever, but I haven't seen him since that night.
The last time I physically saw him, well, I FaceTime him once in a while. The last time I saw him in person, I DJ'd his wedding back several years ago. And and he got a kid now and is married and he's been back into like movie script writing and doing playwrights again. Like that's something he was like doing before he ever really rapped. So he's been like into that a lot and so he's like a really talented dude beyond like the battle rap stuff. Like it was funny because like the battle rap stuff just came along one day where he was like, hey, I want to battle rap. And like, I actually didn't take it all the way serious. But then when I heard like a couple things you said, I'm like, well, damn, I'm like, this at least stands a chance to be entertaining.
Oh yeah. And
so like I put him up against another guy that we was friends with and it ended up being like really, really, like one-sided. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, so then like we set up a couple more things. See, by the time they got to setting up with like you, because I was trying to get him at that point where like he was battling people that were respected.
Right.
Because me, from the business perspective, like I'm like, I got to be able to say you went against so-and-so to get so and so over here to even want to consider battling you.
Facts.
Like because at that point, you know, like it was getting to where like he was getting like eyes, but people still weren't like committing. But it's like in my business mind, when I know a cat like you that like, you know, made a young career on roasting people down in the Carolinas, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew I did my homework, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, that's why I had to get like a name and I was like, yo, I was like, I think I can get Seven to do it. But like looking back on it, like I said, what didn't make it like the right match is because like we're a battler from the same era, so like our battling is different than you know these guys sitting and like writing scripts. See, I can't even think of battling that way because like I can't imagine writing all those rhymes that I can't use again.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I can't fathom the thought of like, hey, these are unusable now. Like,
I set them in a battle and now it's over
at one time.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, you wrote a 3 minute, you wrote you wrote 9 minutes worth of raps. Like 9 minutes is 3/4 of the project. You know what I'm saying? 9 minutes is 3/4 of Gasoline Bomber. So I mean, like that's like taking, you know, 75% of the album and spitting it, and then you can't never say it again. Why? Why would you do it? I don't understand. Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Uh-oh. Hold up. Ta-da! I don't know. That's weird. Well, I know one thing for sure. I was trying to all right, let's not do that. Well, either way. Y'all heard it here. Mack, man. Consummate professional. He don't write his verses down. He's still fire. Gasoline Bomber out now. If you look him up on Spotify, his entire catalog is crazy. The entire catalog is crazy. I was just bragging on you a little bit more while you was
Yeah. Man, you know, the one thing I didn't consider, I'm like, you know, I was like, man, I knew I should have did this on my computer because then I end up getting a phone call.
Yeah, that's that never failed to happen. That's why I was like, yo, when I first started the pod, I was doing it on my phone. And this was, you know, a few years back when we first started, and I was like, man, I gotta get a laptop to do this on because I don't want to use the laptop. I use the record to do this because I'm like, too much stuff going on. And plus, when you record, it creates all those WAV files, and there's so much memory on the computer getting used up. And I had to get some external stuff to start moving stuff out of there. It's just a lot. Like I didn't realize what engineers, the people that do the recording, have to deal with in regards to, because you know a lot of times we end up getting the MP3, so it's like it's just 3.4 megs. Okay, this ain't a big deal. Why you worried about? Why you talking about you ain't got no space? Because all the day shit is in waves and they're humongous. So
right.
That shit is crazy, man. So I know you got the new Mack Julian John coming. What is the plan after that?
I'm gonna tell you, man, right now I'm just living life to the fullest. And the thing that I'm concentrating on right now is one, telling my story. And that's whether it's in rap form, whether it's through my hip hoponomics course that I'm really pushing right now. Just getting my story out here. Because I was man, like when my nephrologist first told me that I was gonna need a kidney and need dialysis and this and that, like it scared me.
No doubt.
And so like, and you know, I don't want to like, I want to be careful about how I present the information because I'm not trying to make myself a charity case, and I'm not looking for sympathy either. Like what I am looking for are ears and eyes on my situation to like, so the next person will feel like, hey, you know, he did this and it's going like this for him. Like, let me go address this for myself, like, and address this issue, like, because look, I have a 7-year-old daughter. Well, she's about to turn 8, but until the past few months, she had never seen me even be able to run before, or you know, do like you know, everything was always curbside pickups, never going in places because I would be so out of breath and this and that, and that was all because of like kidney issue. Like, but in the past 4 months, she's seen me do things that she's never got to see me do before. Like, we were just out playing t-ball together today, and
Oh
playing
man.
was out playing basketball a couple months ago, through a camp that we go to on Sunday afternoons. And so and the crazy part about it, I was still going and doing these things before I was on dialysis, but I was out
Right.
there looking like I was about to die just from taking a few steps. And now I'm full participant and volunteering to do things that I wasn't volunteering to do. So number one and important is being able to make an impact as a father. And so hopefully I hope that spreading my story and sharing it and being open about it will maybe help some other people, whether it's kidneys or whether it's something else, to go get yourself checked out, just to improve your quality of life. Even if it's just giving you 3-4 years of quality, it's better than nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Live to your fullest. That's my goal this year. Every show you see me get in, you will see me going nuts as if I'm 35 again. You know what I'm saying? It's all on the line, man. It is live like a champion, man. It's all on the line.
I feel it. And I gotta say, man, you are a constant reminder to other people, especially myself, that we may be, as MCs, we speak with bravado and we do all of these things, and you have to have a certain thing about you as an MC, but we're still people at the end of the day, and we're people who go through things. And not only do we go through things, but we go through things sometimes that supersede the importance of what other people care about. The person who only know you as Mack, they only care about the music. You know what I'm saying? The person who don't know you beyond that song that they heard, that's all they just want the next one. You know what I'm saying? I just said something. I actually said something about that in one of the lines on the EP I'm doing with Case, with Van, and I was like, yo, and as a matter of fact, it was you that made me think of the line, because I was like, man, for us, this is therapy because of what we're dealing with in life, but for you, it's just another song. So to hear the music and to hear where the music has been going from the beginning, I definitely felt the turn. I felt the change at a point, you know what I'm saying? So I could tell when you said, hey, hold up. There's some things going on. I need to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? I need to interject this into the music. So once you did that,
it was important for me to come with Gasoline Bomber after Rap for the Rent also. Because look, Rap for the Rent, there's parts of it to be straight up depressing. But at the same time, it's Gasoline Bomber gave me a chance to say, hey, that was that, but this is how I'm feeling now. There's a new energy back to myself, and whether people have been able to make that connection or not, you know what I'm saying? That's what the connection is. Because even before Rap for the Rent, I did the Power Reset project, and the Power Reset project was another one where it's talking about starting over, because I went and I had the elaborate recording studio and bought all that, and it didn't work out. It just didn't work out. And I didn't hide from the fact, but also I didn't announce it to the world. It's if you knew, you knew. And my thing was with that too, it wasn't that I was embarrassed. It was just what I see people do sometimes is all right, sometimes people will have their lash out to people if a business venture don't work out. So they have their lash out, and then they end up getting the sympathy business on the back end. And I didn't want none of that. I was like, well, y'all niggas didn't come then don't come now. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But I tell you what, I will be back with something, and then when I'm back, you know what I'm saying, either you getting taxed or either you already on the train and we going to the top.
You heard? That's how I go. That's how I go.
Straight up.
Man, that is, man. I'm about to put a matter of fact, probably later today, probably later this evening, you probably gonna have some stuff in your inbox. After we get off
I look forward to hearing it.
I'm about to fire it up and get some of the stuff laid down. I got all 5 of the songs written. I just got to record them now. So
and then I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna respond to the email with a beat for us to do another joint.
Let's do it. I'm ready, bro.
Like,
matter of fact, oh, I'm glad you said that. I actually I think you, Jamal Matters, and it was somebody else. I think Malls. I think you, Jamal Matters, and Malls. I want all three of y'all on the record. I just got to get the beat. So but I want the three. Like when I think about people that rap in a way that make me say, "Oh, I can't play this time." I gotta be serious. Like, okay, y'all make me know I gotta be serious, man. So I'm definitely down to do that.
I had to take the phone off the clip so I can give you a full grasp of what we got going on up in here. Like, cause I got now. See, this is my old school computer. I record my vocals on here, and then I take them over to here for the mix. Like that's my old school Mack, because I got about $11,000 worth of plugins on that Mack. And then I do some of my final polishing and then beat making on my new Mac Pro over here, man. Like, and I got my little MK3 right here. I even got my old school machines back there.
Oh my goodness, you got it
all.
all.
My trophies to verify the work. Like the next one of the next singles I'm working on, you know, like I said, I have the liberties of either putting it on this album or not. But like my aunt's a retired jazz singer named Jane Powell, and you know, she's well certified everywhere she's went. And I'm actually working on a song inspired by her called Jane Passed the Key.
Ooh.
And but see, the thing is, like, and I'm gonna sit you down here a second, because like I haven't shared this with anybody, but like we're gonna share this exclusive right now.
Pantha Politix Network exclusive.
Because Pass the Key isn't just a saying. Like, this is literally a key to Roanoke right here. Like, she passed me the key. You know what I'm saying? So like,
oh wow.
So like, I will have this around my neck in the video. You know what I mean? Pass the key. That's a Roanoke, Virginia. That's a Roanoke, Virginia on the joint.
That is fire, man. Poe, I'm gonna just tell you, bro, and I gotta be real. You are absolutely one of the people that when I think about the people, if I say, hey, if there was ever a person that I could say, hey, this person right here, you should follow that example right there. As far as the work, the consistency, the dedication, you are definitely one of the people that I will point to throughout the entirety of the time I know you, bro. You just different from other people. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I appreciate you, man. Like I just appreciate the embrace. Because you know, I think back to you know, when you was talking about like being from this area and you know, getting out. Like, the crazy thing is, look, Greensboro and Winston-Salem are closer to here than Richmond is.
Facts.
And so like, so it was like the whole Carolina's nephew thing started because I was like, I want to get out. But it was like, it wasn't always like the easiest to get to Richmond. It was a lot easier to get to the Triad. And so like, I would go down to the Triad starting all the way back in like 06, going down to like the record exchange in Greensboro. That's when I first met JJ the Genius. And then like not long after that, like I met Eddie Ruger. And then I just kept meeting cats, like met Ilpo not long after that. And just kept meeting cats, and I just kept popping up at these cat shows until like I ended up getting a spot on the show. But the thing is, you could get a spot or you could get a spot and go kill it. And like, and rap for me has always been like a business card. It's crazy. Me and Van Guns was having this conversation the other day, because it's like, for as many other different things that I got my hands in on and do, it's like it never makes the impact that it does when I'm able to rap. And that was hard to deal with the health stuff, because it was hindering my ability to rap. And rap has always been my ultimate business card and conversation starter.
No doubt.
Because so much of my passion, see, look, I sell beats as a business and this and that. And like, not that I don't have passion in beats, because obviously, you know, like, to make as many beats as I do, I have to be passionate about it. But like, but rap is such passion driven with me, because it's like the ultimate therapy for me. And so like, so the majority of my passion goes into it. So like, when I can't rap, like, it actually mentally like messes with me.
Oh, I feel that. Yeah, bro. Woo! I was right before I did the Munchies Return joint on Guns Control, I got sick. And I couldn't rap. I didn't have a voice. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I tried to record it. I recorded it one time and I listened back to it. I said, yo, I sound like I'm whispering, yo. I can't do this. So I had to delete it. And I kept telling Guz, yo, it's coming. It's coming. I'm just trying to get my voice back, yo. And it took way longer than I was hoping to get my voice back. But once I finally did and I was able to record it, it felt like somebody had lifted a whole mountain off of my shoulders. So like, yeah.
You saying that reminds me of a story from my Po Mack on Drugs Part 2 album. And you know the song that I have called We On a Run?
Yes.
All right. So here's the story behind We On a Run. Like at the time I was a overnight phone banker for Wells Fargo. And and so I worked in like the premier department, which is working with like millionaires accounts and this and that, having to talk to those guys all the time. and so I would get home about 4 a.m. and I was like, man, I really want to record something, but like I didn't want to wake my girl up. And so when you listen to it, and I'm saying 4 o'clock, I hit my zone in the AM. I need insurance. So on my weeknight bacon in daylight, the mic pays them. And I was spitting in that low voice. I was spitting that low voice because I didn't want to wake her up. But it all turned into like people like, yo, I like the delivery and this and that on it.
Yeah.
And I still perform it to this day. But like when I perform it, like I had to be careful what I surrounded by because I'm like, yo, I gotta go back in that zone to even be able to even recreate the voice.
Yeah, because you ain't gonna be able to go from it's hard to turn it back down once you get all the way up there. I feel you.
Like a couple weeks ago, I performed We On a Run right after From the Jump was another joint that Drugs had produced. And like I was getting all hype on From the Jump. Then I was like, oh yeah, let me bring it back a little bit.
Let me dial it down. Oh, shit. Yo, that's crazy, man. Po, thank you so much for your time, bro. I appreciate you.
Hey, thank you.
Most definitely. Let the people know how they can find you online.
Yo, pomack.com, POEMACK.com. Po Mack on all social medias. Hell, I'm even on TikTok at Po Mack Beats. But if you type in Po Mack on the internet, go to your Google search, type in Po, separated, so it's like Edgar Allan Poe, but then Mack, Po Mack, and like it'll take you to everywhere you need to go to.
Man, hey, ladies and gentlemen, y'all heard it here. Po Mack, Gasoline Bomber out right now. New Mac Julian on the way. This brother is living his life. If you ain't taking nothing else from this interview, live your life to the fullest. Live for the day because tomorrow is not promised. Make sure you do that.
And also one thing I always like to leave people with,
no doubt.
See it, believe it, achieve it.
That man, I'm getting ready to put that in the tagline when we drop this tomorrow. For sure.
That's my whole
everything.
Hip-Hoponomics, man. See it, believe it, achieve it.
I like that. Absolutely, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Thank y'all for locking in with us. On behalf of Po Mack, everybody at Pantha Politix Network, I am Seven Da Pantha. This is Side Barz. We'll see y'all soon, man. Make sure y'all check out Gasoline Bomber and the whole Po Mack catalog. You heard? Maxtramentals in the building. Salute.
I don't cheese for the cam, niggas. They smile on the gram, they caught me slipping. I'm that nigga, right? Fame for the young, just cut the check. Let me rap, nigga. Rap, nigga. Gravatar style, I'm a traveling smack dealer. Get all Jenny Lamb.